tax in general, like sort of if you're from Europe, there'll be VAT. If you're from America, there'll be a different sort of tax to customers. So this is a pretty interesting question. So what I usually do is I usually just don't charge any tax because I want to keep the conversion high. Because when you pay or charge something for $10 and by the time they get to checkout, it costs $11 because of the extra $1, $2 in tax, then they're sort of going to abandon checkout. I'd rather have an increased conversion rate of them not abandoning, getting that $10 and giving, one out of the $10 to the government. And I'll only get $9 in that case. There is an option through Shopify. We can go ahead and charge all the taxes to every single location to the customer. So it will sort of be very dynamic. So if it's sort of a customer from the United States and they're from California, it will automatically charge them that X% in tax for Californians. So that would go on top of the price. So that means whatever you sell, you get how much you listed the price for. You wouldn't be having to eat out of your profits or your revenue in order to cover the tax payments. If you're doing dropshipping, I'd recommend you just eating up the tax, increase your price by $2 or $3 to take into account the tax for all countries worldwide. But if you have your own e-commerce brand, you have your own products in-house, that's where you want to go ahead, maybe charge tax to them, because now you've got slim profit margins. Now you're sort of dealing with your own products because you've paid for everything up front, you paid for marketing, you paid for this and that. You can't sort of, if you lose 10%, that's a lot. So you might want to charge the GST to the customer if it's your very own custom product. But when doing drop shipping, I think don't worry about tax. Just sort of when you make a lot of money, when you sort of do 100K, automatically X% will go towards GST. Plus, if you're an Australian and you're doing dropshipping, if you're doing it correctly, you should only get like 10 to 15% of your customers from Australia.
What?
So you're only paying 10% on those small percentage of Australian sales. And on top of that, if you're doing it correctly and doing dropshipping in Australia, 100% of your marketing and expenses, you can get GST refunds, so you can get the money back. So you actually will be paid money back from the government because you should be spending more Australian expenses than Australian revenue. For example, let's say you spent $20,000 on Facebook ads. You're going to get refunded $2,000 in GST. Now let's say out of the $20,000, you made $100,000 in revenue, but out of the $100,000, only $10,000 came from Australia, and out of that $10,000, you'll only have to pay $1,000 in GST. So see how you're sort of getting $2,000 refunded in GST and you're paying to $1,000, so you can make $1,000 just off GST refunds. I don't know if that made sense. It sort of might be confusing, might be complicated. Just I've done this for some time, but hopefully that answers your question, Tommy. But if you're interested in, I am offering one-on-one coaching. The steps will be: one, you definitely have to check out all the reviews on my website, sunny.com/reviews. You can also find them on YouTube, just YouTube Anime Reviews. And then two, you'll need to check out my YouTube and Instagram to see my results. See if sort of you'd want to work with me and see if, I'm the type of personality that you would want to work with. And if you've done 1 and 2 and you're still interested and you really want to work with me and my team one-on-one, message me on Instagram or email me being like, hey, I'm interested in the one-on-one coaching, and I can definitely jump on a call with you to see if I can help you out and if we're a right fit. But yeah, let me know if that is something you might be interested in, and then we can jump on a free sort of consult call after you've done 1 and 2. Hopefully that answers your question, Tommy. Peace.